If the 20th century ran on oil and steel, the 21st century runs on compute and the minerals that feed it. You know, that powerful statement from U.S. Undersecretary of State Jacob Hellberg really hits the nail on the head, and it perfectly sets the stage for what we're looking at today. We are living in an era where artificial intelligence and computing power are absolutely the ultimate global currencies. It's no longer just about who writes the best software. It is entirely about the physical hardware, the chips, and the rare earth minerals you actually need to run the AI systems of tomorrow.
So welcome to this explainer. Today we're focusing on a massive geopolitical shift, the Pax Silica coalition. We are going to unpack exactly how this US-led AI alliance is completely reshaping global power dynamics, and more importantly, what it actually means for the economic and strategic future of the Philippines.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the global AI chip race, define Pax Silica, and explore the new Clark City hub. Then, we'll weigh the economic promise against the hidden risks before finally looking at the geopolitical balance.
Section 1. The Global AI Chip Race, the Battle for Compute.
90%. That is the estimated share of global rare earth refining currently controlled by China. And remember, these materials are literally the lifeblood of advanced computer chips. So when China implemented export controls back in 2025, that 90% dominance was a massive wake-up call for the rest of the world. The US quickly realized it simply couldn't win the AI race if a strategic rival held all the cards, or in this case, all the minerals.
Section 2. What is Pax Silica? Securing the supply chain.
Just look at how incredibly fast this entire thing moved. The US forms Pax Silica in December 2025. By February 2026, the US and the Philippines sign a minerals framework, and by April, the Philippines officially joins the coalition. In less than a year, we are looking at an expected framework signing for a brand new AI hub. In the notoriously slow world of geopolitics, that speed is absolute warp drive.
Pax Silica originally started out as an exclusive club of just 9 original members. We're talking heavyweights like Japan, South Korea, Australia, and Singapore. But recently, it has expanded to include nations like India and the Philippines. The ultimate goal here? To build a highly secure, trusted AI ecosystem while actively boxing out rival tech stacks.
Section 3. The new Clark City hub. The local solution.
4,000 acres. That is a massive 1,618 hectares. To put that into perspective for you, that is roughly the size of 3,000 football fields dedicated entirely to a new AI industrial hub in New Clark City, Tarlac. This isn't just some small office park. It is a sprawling epicenter strategically chosen to be the anchor of Pax Silica in Southeast Asia.
This new hub has actually been designated as a golden node. That means it's an AI-native manufacturing ecosystem fully integrated into a network of trusted nations. It is essentially a fortress for global supply chain resilience. Designed from the ground up as an economic security zone, it's expected to feature joint US-Philippines governance, and let me tell you, the private sector is already moving aggressively to harness this opportunity.
Section 4. The economic promise. Moving up the value chain. The economic promise for the country here is massive. Historically, the Philippine semiconductor industry has been stuck pretty low on the value chain, mostly doing basic chip assembly and packaging. But Finance Secretary Frederick Go sees a very different future. By joining Pax Silica, the Philippines can finally tap into its rare earth elements, which, by the way, are currently only about 5% explored. The promise here is high-value jobs, advanced tech transfer, and a transition from the margins of the global industry right to the very center.
Section 5. Hidden costs and risks. The complications.
But of course, this is where the debate gets fiercely complicated. On one side, you have the government promising major tech innovation and a leap up the value chain. But on the other side, civil society groups like the KMP and the Computer Professionals Union are really sounding the alarm. Their main fear? They worry the Philippines will just be locked into a subordinate role, essentially strip mining raw materials for export, while the high-value technology and the lion's share of the profits remain firmly overseas. And beyond the economic structure, there are very tangible on-the-ground environmental concerns to consider. Advocates point out the absolutely massive water consumption required just for AI data center cooling systems. In fact, University of the Philippines scientist Dr. Giovanni Tapang has explicitly warned about this as a severe potential threat to long-term water security. Additionally, there are genuine fears about agricultural land conversion displacing local food systems.
And on the governance side, groups like Propel have cautioned that special economic zones with joint governance require incredibly strict transparency to prevent corruption and oversight risks.
Now, in response to these concerns, the government maintains that the risks are entirely manageable. Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro has pushed back against the fears of water shortages, stating that modern industrial estates, like the one planned for New Clark City, are specifically designed with sustainable water sources and advanced recycling tech to ensure local communities aren't drained dry.
Section 6. The geopolitical balance. Caught in the middle. Okay, let's zoom out to the big picture here. The stark reality of Pax Silica is that it ties the Philippines incredibly tightly to the U.S. in its ongoing strategic competition against China. Critics, including the Makabayan bloc, warn heavily about the danger of this alignment. Integrating massive industrial zones with expanding U.S. military cooperation could very well turn these civilian economic hubs into strategic targets if a wider conflict were to break out in the Indo-Pacific. It is a razor-thin wire to walk between economic security and national security. Which leaves us with a truly pivotal question. Can the Philippines build a globally competitive AI future without sacrificing its own resources and sovereignty? Look, Pax Silica offers a fast-tracked route to becoming a key player in the 21st century, but navigating the environmental toll, the economic reality, and the immense geopolitical weight of this alliance is going to be the ultimate test. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep this question in mind as you watch this massive 4,000-acre project unfold over the coming years.